So check this out. I saw this, and this is from Reddit, okay? And Reddit is like a cesspool of degeneracy and a bunch of weirdos, cucks, and simps on there who are super far left, more far left than even somebody like Destiny or Hassan. Some of these weirdos on there, they go on there, and that's the only time they actually communicate with other human beings. So I do have a bias against Reddit, but I honestly believe this story with some of the things that I've seen. I'm going to read you this story. It says, I hired a male sex worker for 2 hours just to hug me and hold me, and I gave him flashcards of what to say to me. But women are doing so much better than men, and it's the men's loneliness epidemic, right? Okay, so let's read this. I'm a 22-year-old female. I'm introverted. I had one boyfriend who cheated on me 8 months ago. That's sad. I'm not going to say make fun of her for having a sad life. Yes, I am. I probably am. I'm a bad person. So, okay. Who cheated on me 8 months ago. And since then, I found out it was incredibly difficult to socialize. Not that many people made an effort. I'm simple. I don't have social media. I have fewer friends, but they don't really speak to me much. I'm average looking, pretty insecure since my breakup. In college and on the weekends, I work 12-hour shifts at a fast food restaurant to make ends meet. So she has a basic life, doing basic things, has a regular job. At this point, I'm seeing this is pretty much the average person. This is the average person's life when they go to college, right? So let's read on more. I don't know. Felt really lonely. So I knew of a guy who works with me and told me his friend is doing sex work. I found him on Facebook and he told me how much he charged. Also asked me a bunch of questions about my sexual health. I never planned on sleeping with him, and I didn't want him to find me weird. Too late for that, because let me tell you something. There is no sex worker that you can go to that won't find you weird. You're paying for access to their body. And I'll be telling this to dudes all the time. So when you go and you message an OnlyFans girl and you really legit think that you're going to have a relationship with this woman who gets messaged 800,000 times a day, you're a weirdo. And they see you as a weirdo, and that's what you are. Just admit it, and then you can fix the problem. So she continues. Anyway, we met at a hotel. I told him I didn't want to have sex. I just wanted to be held and given words of affirmation and care. He agreed, and I paid him. I gave him flashcards. Flashcards? What is this, a test? All right. They all said things like, I'm proud of you. You're doing so well. You're strong. Did you eat? If you have a flashcard that you gave him that says, did you eat? And you want him to ask, you know if you haven't ate or not. So you just want to pretend. All right. A lot of women like to be lied to. Anyways, it says, I'm proud of you. You're doing well. You're strong. Did you eat? Are you okay? I know you can do this, etc., etc. And he just held me until our hours were up. And then I bolted and felt so ashamed and had to tell someone. But I don't speak to anyone, so here I am. And then she has an edit under that. Thank you for all the kind words and making me feel better. See how Reddit is full of losers? Making me feel better and less ashamed. You should feel ashamed. And I'll tell you guys why. Yes, that's me immediately upvoting. I'm not good with words, so please know I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you so much. Here's the problem, and I'm just going to break this down because maybe other people can't see this. This is a problem of your own doing, and society has told women that they can do everything alone. You know who's supposed to do all these words of affirmation? You know who's supposed to make you feel better and tell you you're pretty and you can do it? Your husband. But since everybody wanted to be an independent woman and be a boss babe and go out and prove how strong they are, guess what? When my wife needs to be comforted, that's what I'm there to do. When I need to be comforted, that's what she's there to do. I don't have to pay a sex worker to tell me, hey, come to my house, girl, and tell me I'm handsome. Tell me I can do it. Tell me I'm doing a good job. Tell me I'm not a loser. Why would you want to live a lie? Those words aren't true because he doesn't mean them because you gave him flashcards. How does that make you feel better if you know it's a lie? And this is what a lot of the red pill dudes say, and I have to agree with them. A lot of women don't mind being lied to. They know it's a lie. Now, men do too, and I'm going to explain why in a second. A lot of women like being lied to. They want somebody to tell them, you're strong, you're independent, you're great, you're going to make it on your own as a single mother. You won't have any problems. All of those are lies. Instead, you can just do things God's way and have a better life. You could have a better life. Just because you don't believe the lies that when you're young, you should not get married and you should pursue your college business and you should put all that marriage stuff and relationship stuff on the back burner until you figure out what you want to do with your life. That is nonsense. I got married very young at age 22 and I've been married since, and I don't think it would have been as good if I had not gotten married young, because it's God's design for you to get married when you can have children and be fruitful and multiply, and you can grow in love together. The two become one flesh, not the two with their own lives that they accumulated until their mid-30s come together and then get divorced in 2 to 3 years. That's what we're doing now. And this is nonsense because in some sense, I feel sorry for her because she doesn't know. But in some sense, I don't, because she knows there's a problem because she's lying to herself and she's okay with the lie. She's okay with giving somebody flashcards to say the things she wants to hear, even knowing that that's not coming from a sincere heart. She knows that. And she still is cool with it. And then she felt ashamed afterward. My question for her to be introspective will be, why do you feel ashamed? If sex work is okay, like these liberals on Reddit will tell you, if you being an independent woman is okay, if there's nothing wrong with lying to make yourself feel better, why do you feel ashamed? And you would have to think internally because you know you're living a lie. You know that there's things that could be better and you should be doing better. And there's God's way and you chose your way. You chose to pay a sex worker, which is also wrong, because that man is being used for his body, right? And he made the decision to be a degenerate and get money that way. And I'm sure he's not a bad looking guy, because to be a sex worker as a man, you got to be extremely far exceedingly above the average man. So I'm sure he's taking advantage of the looks that God gave him. And he's going and being with these lonely women. These lonely women are accepting it. And they're paying for something that is supposed to be naturally done. Imagine if my wife had to pay me to tell her, hey, you know what? I really love you. What would it mean then at that point? What would it even mean? So it just shows you where society is going and how a lot of women are cool with being lied to. And now I wanted to bring, before I forget, a lot of men out there, don't think you're better if you're on OnlyFans. If you're just soaking up this pornography. I'm not talking about if you got a struggle that you're trying to fight. I'm talking about all these men who are going to these OnlyFans creator and messaging them saying, tell me something dirty. That girl don't like you. You believe in a lie. You're a weak man. You're doing the same thing this woman is doing. You're just doing it on the man's side. So you think that girl really cares about you? She looks at you in disgust, just like this man who will never admit it. He's a sex worker. He looks at this woman as disgusting. Ugh, what's wrong with her? And that's how we should be looking at both of them in society. Degenerates get degenerate results. Now, here's the thing. I feel bad for anybody who had a hard life, who has been cheated on in the past, things like that. But at the same time, don't just sit here and go deeper into degeneracy. Why don't you actually ask the question of, what way of life, what worldview do I hold that is actually wrong? Maybe I've been going down about this the wrong way. Nope. Let's just hire a sex worker to tell me what I want to hear. That'll solve the problem.